Alright, there's another big box. This one's heavier than the last one. This one might have a crank in it. Let's see. Bud's, I thought he was gone. Bud's Cycling, Texas. He died a few years back. So he must be still got the shop going, I'm guessing, or selling off the inventory. Looks like it's got multiple cylinders in here. Oh yeah. Actually not too bad. Got here in one piece so far anyway. So that's how I like packing. You take the cylinders, or heads, you wrap them in cardboard, and then you stuff in the box and put more packing around. Well, he didn't put more packing around it, but they're wedged in there pretty good, so it looks like it's got here undamaged. That one's kind of bounced around there. I should have some paper in that, but this airbags here don't work very well. They go flat because they get pushed on too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dead ones and the one that's still got air in it. There's one. That's another 2 more dead ones. That's a dead one. And we got 1, 2, 3 more dead ones. Oh, there's one that's still got 2 dead, 1 more air. So over half of those are dead because they get compacted. You can't put weight on those things, they blow up. Alright, so let's see what we got. This is a shovel head because it's got round area on it. See how it's round through here? It's not scallop cut, so it's not a pan head. See, pan head here. See how these have got scallop here when they're pan head? That's a pan head cylinder. See, when they're full round like that, they're shovel. So, there you go. Quick identification. Let's see what we got here. Get these out of here. This box is very old and wet. Oh, so we got a cam cover in there and a shovel head in there. Look at that, that's a surprise. Oh, I know who this guy is. Okay, so that's who he is, huh? So he's selling off Bud's old inventory. That's why everything's so rusty, this guy sells. Been sitting on a damn cow pasture for 50 years at least. So, I was wondering why he had a lot of good stuff but really rusty. So now I know why. Okay, let's see what we got today in here. Yep, nice and rusty. Oh, that is really rusty. That is some deep, deep ass rust there. Look at that. That is some barnacles going in there. Oh yeah, that's 20, 30 thou worth of rust in that sucker. That's deep. Deep, deep, deep. So that's a shovelhead cylinder, 78 casting down here. It's real thick. Denotes 78 also. See how these flanges here are real thin? So thick and thin. So when the 8-inch motor came out in mid-78, they went to a thick flange. And all the cylinders are the same, it's just a matter of what bore they put through them. If it's 3 7/16, it's a 74. If it's 3 1/2, it's an 80. It's the same cylinder and identical on the outside. It's the same casting, just how they bored it. So this is a bit later one because it has a big knob stuck on here and it's got this oil feed in it without here. They pulled that crap in mid-1980, I think they started putting that on there. For sure 81 they had it on, 82, and then in 83 they kind of went away from it. In 84 the castings weren't even drilled at all. I think 83 they pretty well didn't drill them either. Pretty much 81, 82 they had stupid lines on there. It was in the lifter blocks. So they had a fitting that came out of here and they had to stick a hose right here and it went to your cylinder right next to it. About that long. And I was supposed to evacuate the oil out of here and not let it build up and leak everywhere, but it didn't really work. The problem was their rings sucked, their bores sucked, and their valve guides sucked. They had a lot of blow-by issues, so when you pressurize your crankcase, I don't care what you do, it's going to peak oil everywhere. once I started fixing all those problems in '82, things kind of went away. And everything kind of started working again. Imagine that. Another thick flange on. Heavy rust. Another shovelhead again. It's all round, obviously. Thick flange. 78 again. Really heavy rust. And this one has a wrist pin out of it. So this cylinder's trash. Junk. I'm sure they didn't denote that in the ad, I'm sure. So yeah, so that one's trash. That has to be sleeved, and it's not really worth sleeving cylinders. They're too cheap to buy new ones. The only thing makes these with any value is if you can use them. Or if you want to keep that stock stupid hose on the side, because the aftermarket does not do that. So these can only go 40 over. 3.5 is standard. And standard. So that's a standard cylinder. It's probably going to take 30 thou to clean the rust out of it, so that's going to clean it 30. So you got 2 bores in that one. This one here is, oh, we might have some activity here. Look at that, 7/16. This is standard 74. Look at that. Measure that again over here. Yes. Okay, so this is standard 74 cylinder. So that means we can bore it 60 thou oversized to make it standard 80. And that big groove right there in the bottom of that cylinder, we'll clean that at some point. Usually it takes about 50 to 70 thou to clean that thing out. So if we take, actually if you take 60 out of here, that makes it a standard bore. And if you go another, you got another 40 to go before you're out of nothing. That's one crispy gasket there. Boy, that thing's rusty though. So even though this piston cylinder is junk, being a 74-inch cylinder, we can probably save it. Well, I'm pretty sure I can save it. So, like I said, this thing might clean it standard bore, but it's pretty deep. I don't think it'll go this time. It'll probably take 20 or so to clean it. But you never know until you bore. You'd be shocked what you can do. And there's also a trick you can do. We know we got to cut more on this side, so if you take the boring bar and move it toward this way and cut most of your material off this side, it'll clean up in half the time. You can actually clean this thing up at about 30 or 40 over if you kick it over and cheat. And I have been known to do stuff like that, because that piston doesn't really give a shit where it's at in that combustion chamber. It's going to still go up and down the same. So I probably do something like that. But there you go. That is a set of stock 80-inch shovel cylinders. Now these are different year though, aren't they? Yeah, see, this does not have that oil line boss in it. So this is an early one. If it was later, it would still have the boss there, it just wouldn't be machined. So this is going to be 1980 and earlier for sure, definitely 79. So this is the first year and a half on this one. This one's going to be intermediate year because it has a hole in it, and then the later one will have no hole in it, but I still have the boss. So that's how I identify 80-inch cylinders, what they are. So there's a set of, basically a set of standard, and the rear has the big side to it. See, front's kind of equal looking, how it is. And the rear has all the big extra material around it, so that's the rear cylinder. So that is a set of cylinders. So, but it's not the same bore cylinders, or the same year. Yeah, whatever. If you just put the bike together for out of junk, it doesn't matter. Alright, there you go. Let me get this rust cleaned up.